Hi, it's me, Kevin Gallagher. I'm going to give you a little bit of advice on theories of learning. This will be useful for you for any of the modules in which you think about yourself and how you've learned, and it might also be useful for you in your project. This is additional to what you'll be getting in the module guides, something I think which you should find useful, and it shows possibly as well how I think. So when we're talking to each other, we can talk about in a similar fashion. Okay, so some advice on theories of learning. Okay, what can we learn? Well, we can learn knowledge, facts and figures. We can learn skills, how to do something, such as how to type, for instance. Behaviours, how to actually act, for instance, to be courteous to customers. So those are the three things which I think we can broadly look at: knowledge, skills, and behaviours. Now, there's various definitions of what a learning process is, and depend upon your bias towards any of the above. We'll consider one important thing for adult learners, and there's a definition here. So, learning: the process whereby knowledge is created through the transformation of experience. So that's the key word there, experience. Learning by doing, if you like. It's called experiential learning. And there's a number of theorists who follow this approach. And I think two of the sets that you should look up and make sure you know about are David Kolb, K-O-L-B, and he's famous for his learning cycle. And another set of theorists who sort of followed on Kolb and based their work, after him. So there's quite close links. Peter Honey and Alan Mumford. So Honey and Mumford. And probably some of your module tutors might be talking about your learning style. And there are various ways you can actually assess your learning style. Okay. So as I say here, these are well-known theorists. You can find details in your recommended reading, I'm quite sure. Look for the textbooks, first of all. It's always a good place to look first. And use them for references. Make sure you reference good books, including your textbooks. But you can then also find a lot of other things in journals, for instance. But you can also find stuff on the web, which I think is quite good initially anyway, to give you an idea of things. And of course, you can also reference it as well. Okay, let's have a quick look now and see if we can find Kolb, Honey and Mumford and other people on the web. Okay, so here I am, just in the usual search sort of situation. I'll just put Kolb up here, and straight away you get quite a lot of different things because it's so famous. Let's have a look at Kolb and learning styles, or Kolb. Let's just see what comes up there. Experiential learning. So we've got here, just go down to this second one, Kolb's learning styles and experiential learning cycle. This was what I was talking about, so if I quickly click on that, you'll see it's from 1984, and I happen to know that is the correct date. Okay, so we'll just click on that, and you'll see that there's a lot of information. Let's just go down to the actual learning cycle. This is what he's famous for. Alright, he says that we actually learn by doing, so you can actually start anywhere on the cycle, but let's just say we started here, having an experience, reflecting upon it, going through to the next phase here of, it calls it abstract conceptualization. There are various slightly different terms for this, depending upon which text you read, and then active experimentation. Okay, but the main thing is that you go in this kind of cycle. Alright, you have an experience, you reflect upon it, you have some sort of conclusion. What is happening here? What does this mean? And then you try before your next experience, you make some planning for it. You try things out. And then you enter the next cycle. So there's another cycle after that one, and another cycle after that one. So this is the idea that we learn through doing, through having experiences, and we go through different stages in this learning cycle. Okay, just coming back to the screen here. So I said David Kolb, his learning cycle. We'll just leave Honey and Mumford for the moment. Okay, we'll just leave them for the moment. We'll come back to them. And let's have a look at an example of Kolb's cycle. First of all, just note that the experiences can be anything at all. So when you're reading this and listening to this, this could be a learning experience for you if you actually learn from it. It doesn't have to be something physically that you're doing. It can be thinking about something, because they're all experiences in their different ways. Let's give you, this is my classic one, which I tell everyone about, because it's true. So if you can learn from this one, experience, right? A few years ago now, quite a few years ago, I was in my local swimming pool, and two grannies came alongside me swimming, talking to each other as they did. Right, no great style, but they burnt me off. So that was the experience. That was the experience. My reflection. Well, it was a bit embarrassing, to be honest. So you see here, our emotions are very important in learning. Learning is an emotional experience as well as a cognitive one. Okay, and I thought my technique must be terrible. So this is the initial thing, the reflections, very immediate, very immediate. And it wasn't until a few days later, actually, that I was in a bookshop. And I found this book, and it was called Total Immersion. Right, How to Swim Better and Faster. And it was by an Olympic swimming coach. And I read the book, and there was various rules, but here's two of them. One of them was you should reduce your drag. So swim flat, not with your legs down. All right, and I thought, I'm not doing that. And the other thing was try to keep long and thin in the water as much as possible. Again, this was to use less energy, really. And it was also good to reduce drag. And if you think about like a long, thin ship versus like a squat tug, the long, thin ship goes faster. So this was some of the theory. If you could do this, these are kind of rules, then maybe you'd swim faster and better. So what I went and did was I actually tried out these things in the pool, actually. I tried to float flat with my legs up, and I found I could do it. Right? Sort of almost going downhill. And then I tried to glide long and thin in the water to try to keep as long and thin as possible. And I found I could do that. So, the next time I was swimming in the pool against others, right, I actually managed to keep up with the grannies. So that was the next cycle. That was my next experience. My immediate reflection, that's better. And so on for many more cycles. So you can see here, Kolb cycling applied to anything. You can see here it was a mix of different things. It was something physical I was doing, but I'd also thought about it very carefully. I'd read about it. I'd pondered over it. I'd tried things out, and then I'd gone to the next experience. So that's just a simple example, but I think if you can use it for learning to swim, you can use it for virtually anything. So it's a great technique. It's a great little cycle to use. Of course, like any kind of theory, it is not perfect, right? But a lot of people, everyone, really will know about Kolb's learning cycle. So if you mention it and if you use it in your assignments, it'll be great. It'll be fine. Okay. There'll be other sessions. Next one, I'm going to be looking at training, and how we can maybe transfer what we learn in the workplace to what we call real life. Okay, but that's another one of these screencasts. Okay, bye for now.